Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Harrell, and I have the Language Lessons of the Heart teacher training on YouTube. But I'm also friends with Ray Hernandez and the whole Dr. Edgar Mitchell Foundation for Research into Extraterrestrial Encounters. And so one of my friends there on that page and from many other places is Ted Mahr, who's also a friend of other friends that I have. And he's doing something really exciting. He's putting together the third annual Galactic Wisdom Conference. And I wanted to talk about that. The reason why I want to talk about that is because not only am I supporting disclosure and healing and spiritual and psychic phenomena, but I'm also supporting a couple of friends that I have that are actually talking on that guest speakers. One of them is Mishiko Hayachi, and the other one is Robbie Holt. So let me introduce Ted Mahr, and you tell everybody who you are, what you do, and then let's get right into the conference and what's coming up.
Great, Michael. Thank you so much for inviting me on today. It's really a pleasure to be here, and I really appreciate your good work too. You know, all of us working together, I know we'll make this planet a much better and happier place. I'm having my third annual, what I call the Galactic Wisdom Conference in Olympia, Washington, coming up next month. It'll be on Friday, March 10th, Saturday, March 11th, and Sunday, March 12th. In addition, I'll have 2 days on March 14th, Tuesday, and March 15th, Wednesday, devoted to Hado treatments and Hado instruction by the world's most famous Hado therapist, a fellow named Dr. Yoshi from Tokyo, Japan. Before he passed away in 2014, Dr. Emoto was one of the most spiritual men, and he had found that irregardless of what kind of physical or spiritual problem a person may have, it was all related to vibration. So the theory behind Hado, having a good Hado treatment, was that if you raise your vibration or you correct your vibration to correct different physical diseases, like even cancer, for example, or spiritual things like depression, which I consider a spiritual problem, could be a spiritual problem, it works. He treated about 10,000 people when he was alive from the 1990s up until 2014 with these Hado machines, and they do work. So it's going to be a wonderful conference. The purpose of the conference is to raise consciousness and make this planet a better place. And we have some incredibly wonderful people coming from all over the world, from Norway, Sweden, United Kingdom, Canada, and Japan. And actually, we have a new guest as well coming from Taiwan, a very interesting man called Master Lin, who's highly respected there. He's a water master.
Well, let's get right into it. Let's see if we can pull up the screenshot of that, so you can kind of go over what the guests are doing. You never really said what you do. You're a talk show host and a few other things, aren't you?
Yes. I have I have my own radio show in Seattle, and also I do television too. My radio program is called Out of This World Radio, and I broadcast on Friday afternoons from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on 11:50 a.m. on KKNW in beautiful Bellevue, just outside of Seattle. My show is one of the most popular shows in the 3.1 million Seattle area, and it's also the fastest growing metaphysical and spiritual radio program in the world, with listeners in over 60 countries with over 130,000 listeners.
Okay, so, that's good to know, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you know, Michael, people want good news. They are sick and tired of the mass media churning out all this garbage about how the world's going to end tomorrow. But there's a lot of good things going on here on the planet. And I think our future is very, very bright. So I always try to put a positive spin on everything I do. And I'd like to, with both my radio and television shows, I try to raise consciousness and make this planet a better place.
And let's go right into the conference, because you're providing a great service. You're giving a platform, which is a gift for the people who have written books and learned, and teachers and healers. And this, what a gift that is. I'm part of the free disclosure gift project. And so to me, I have like a real connection to people being able to speak their truth and bring new knowledge, new awareness, and new healing to this planet. So let's go right into your conference, and perhaps go over some of the presenters.
Wonderful.
I have the first presenter that you have on the list is Mishiko Haachi, who's actually a friend of mine. She's in one of my groups, and I did an interview with her, I think late last year.
She is, she's a wonderful, wonderful woman. She's the head of the Emoto Peace Project. And before Dr. Emoto passed away in October 17, 2014, she was his assistant for 10 years. As the director of the Emoto Peace Project in Tokyo, she distributes books around the world which teach little children the valuable lessons of love and gratitude. Her and I together, along with another wonderful friend of ours named Carolyn White in Olympia, Washington, established a nonprofit organization in Washington for the United States and Canada called the Emoto Peace Project. The website, if you'd like more information, is www.emotopeaceproject.me. And she'll be coming to the conference, and she'll be giving a presentation on the wonderful work of Dr. Masaru Emoto, who passed away in 2014.
Okay, what about Scott? How do you say his name? Lemuriel?
Lemuriel.
Lemuriel, yeah. It says his contactee for the Galactic Alliance for the past 54 years. Give a little snapshot of what he's going to be speaking about.
Well, actually, I should update the website. It's now 55 years. And thanks to Scott, I've gotten in contact with the Galactic Alliance myself. Scott has had both physical contact and telepathic contact with the Galactic Alliance. The Galactic Alliance is an alliance of 450 million planets in this 1/3 part of the Milky Way galaxy. They number approximately 7 trillion entities who are mostly human and all benevolent, and they all care deeply about us, and they're here to help us. During our last conference last year, several Galactic Alliance spaceships showed up during the day and at night at the conference.
So you're having a conference with intergalactic spaceships showing up.
Correct.
That's what they call a selling point.
They said they will come back next month. And actually, they also provide help and protection for me as well. And I see them as well in the sky. And I can communicate telepathically with them. So for those of you who'd like to see an actual UFO, this is your chance.
And he wrote a couple of books. The
Race Agenda.
Yeah.
And The Emerald Doorway, which are fantastic books about humanity's future as well as our past contacts with extraterrestrials. And I think both books, you should get both books if you already haven't read them. They're fascinating books.
Then you got another great speaker, this guy, Ted Mahr. I've heard a lot of good stuff about him. So tell us about what he's going to talk about.
Well, thank you, Michael, for saying that. I'm a psychic. I've been in touch with the other side for the past roughly 23, 24 years. And during the past 3 years, I've been fortunate enough to been in contact with Professor Albert Einstein, President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, Mahatma Gandhi, President Eisenhower, and as well as the Galactic Alliance. And I'm currently writing a book on messages from them about humanity's beautiful, bright future. And this is I'll give a presentation on messages from these great spirits from beyond about our future.
And you got one of my, I'm kind of a fan of this guy, Professor Joe Pollack. And we were talking earlier that not only does he talk about the third phase of water and bioengineering and things like that, he also has a really great model of charge separation and how charge separation creates wind from the different charges from hot. When the sun comes up, it charges up the air. And then when it goes down to a low charge, that actually pulls the planet around. It's really fascinating stuff. He's a great speaker too. Professor Joe Pollack, third phase of water.
He's one of the world's most famous water scientists, and the reason I think he's well known and he's loved by everybody who knows him is that he's a very kind and gentle man who sincerely is looking for the truth about water. But more than this dimension, his research goes into the other higher dimensions as well. And he's fascinating. He'll be giving a presentation at the conference, and for that reason alone, I hope you can come.
Fourth phase of water, not the third phase, the fourth phase of water.
That's correct. It's the fourth phase of
structured water. Okay, and what about this Colonel Willie Woodard?
Billy Woodard is an interesting gentleman. When he gives healing sessions for people, and when he was at my conference last year, he helped so many people, and he didn't ask for any money at all because he just wanted to be service to others.
So you go to the conference and get a healing. That's amazing.
Yeah, and he's very effective as well. He also, what he does too, when he gives his presentations, he will bring in his father, Zora, who is one of the high priests of the Hollow Earth, and they will switch souls and give a presentation with messages from Zora.
Wow.
The people of the Hollow Earth around Telos were actually escaped from Lemuria when Lemuria was destroyed by the Atlanteans about 12,500 years ago. And they have an amazing story to tell, and he will be sharing that with everyone. That's a
real hotbed of disclosure right there. Is the time that we have gaps in our memory was right around that time.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And also, Billy is actually a retired U.S. Air Force colonel. He used to be the base commander of Area 51 in the late 60s, and that's an amazing story in and of itself.
That's pretty wild stuff. And he has the Hollow Earth Network. And then one of my next favorite, I really am crazy about Robbie Holtz. I did an interview with her, and she really changed. She's a psychic healer, but she works with spirit guides, and she works with people's emotional issues and past life and present life and cords. And she has a whole healing team, and she really awoken me to how important it is to have the spirits on the other side, in the other dimension, helping you whenever you're doing any healing effort or any transformative effort. So she is in a way not only a friend. She's in one of my she's in my language lessons, the Heart Support Group, but she's also a teacher.
She's a wonderful woman, and she and her husband, her late husband, lived among the Aborigines in Australia, and they taught, the Aborigines were very nice. They taught her and her husband the healing techniques of how to help people, and she now does that for other people as well. She's a very effective healer, and I really like her. I'm so glad that she'll be coming to the conference.
She is a treat, and she just kind of radiates this very special kind of solid, soft love. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
right.
This is a lady that I do not know. Her name's Teresa Carroll.
Teresa Carroll. Yeah, she's one of Seattle's best-known psychics. She's also a healer as well. I've known Teresa for years, and she's got a beautiful, sweet soul and a wonderful psychic, and that's why I always like having her at my conferences.
Wow. And you have all these people are your friends, which is, I'm kind of jealous because I only have two that are friends, and I'm like really happy. So you have all these people are friends. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
And there's another lady, Carolyn White. Looks like she's got 3 books.
Yes, Carolyn is a wonderful lady. She's she specializes in aura readings, and she has a special photography that she uses to photograph people's auras, and then she interprets them.
Wow.
And for example, a person's aura may be blue, which means you're interested in your soul purpose. It may be, if your color is green, you're interested in healing. If your color is red or pink, you have a lot of love light around you. So each of these colors have special meaning in the spiritual world, and she'll help you interpret that. She's written several books just on that subject. She's a fascinating lady, and she's one of my good friends, and I'm glad she's coming to the conference.
And you mentioned this guy already. This I can't even pronounce his name. Shichicharo Yashi no Uchi.
I'll pronounce it for you as best as I can. Ichiro Yoshinuchi, and I just call him Dr. Yoshi because it's easier, and with my English language background, it's easier for me to say than his Japanese name. But Dr. Yoshi is the world's best Hado therapist. He was trained by Dr. Moto, and he uses these Hado machines to program water to correct any physical or spiritual condition a person may have. These machines are extremely successful and extremely effective. I'm so happy he's flying in from Tokyo to give presentations and also sell the machines as well. So if you'd like to meet,
not only is he giving presentations, he's doing healings too. So it's not just a presentation. There's healings to be had, and supposedly they're effective. I've just glanced on knowing about them, but a lot of people have had healings based off of Dr. Emoto and his machines. Okay, then we got another giant one, and this is one that surprised me that you have Simon Parks. Is he going to be there in person?
I asked him if he'd like to come, but he said he doesn't trust. It's not that he doesn't trust the airlines. It's just that there are forces out there who would like to eliminate him. So he doesn't fly usually, but he will be appearing by Skype. Skyman's a good friend of mine. By his own admission, his soul is 1/3 human, 1/3 mantis, insectoid, and 1/3 reptilian. He himself has chosen to be allied with the benevolent side of his soul, with humans and mantis, and his messages are here to help people, and also to tell people what's really going on behind the scenes between extraterrestrials and this planet. Both of his parents.
A really big footprint on YouTube, and it's really well known around the world. And then you got Jim Mahr. He's like one of the giants of the UFO disclosure, and been talking about interdimensional beings and shadow government for years and years and years.
Yes, Jim is a good friend of mine. I like him because he's got a lot of integrity, and he tells it like it is. He's very honest, and we get along great. He will be coming to the conference and giving a presentation. And I like him. He's written all kinds of books about ET contact, about the John F. Kennedy assassination, and about the secret societies which have influenced world affairs in the past.
Alien agendas, PSI spies, terror conspiracy, above top secret. That was probably one of his most famous ones, above top secret, I think. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Emma Louise Hansen.
Emma Louise is a contactee from the Andromeda Galaxy. She is from Norway, from Oslo, from the area of Oslo, Norway. And she has many messages from the Andromeda Galaxy to humanity. She has a lot of beautiful messages, actually. And I'm sure everyone will really enjoy meeting her. She's currently writing a book right now on these messages.
She has her own website, the White Avatar.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and who's this? Lassie?
Sarnhut. Lassie is from Sweden. He lives outside Stockholm. He's been in contact with benevolent extraterrestrials for most of his life. He does a lot of spiritual work in Sweden and Scandinavia, and he wanted to spread his message now to the world. So he's coming to my conference, and he'll have messages from his galactic benevolent ET friends as well. So I think it'll be really fun to have him there and listen to what he has to say.
Okay, and you said that Paul Hellyer, which is kind of a little bit of a disappointment, but he's got some other commitments on other things he's got to do, so he may not actually be there. It's,
correct. Correct. Okay. But he promised me he'd be coming next year to my next year conference.
Good for him. And then here's another one with a gigantic footprint on the internet, is Alfred Weber.
Alfred is a great guy. He's a friend of mine. He lives in Vancouver, Canada. And he's also a very well-known and famous Canadian and American lawyer and judge. He was actually appointed the head of President Jimmy Carter's UFO Disclosure Commission back in 77, 78. And once he assumed because President Carter was always interested in UFOs. Well, as soon as he was appointed, George Bush Sr. and Donald Rumsfeld, he says, according to Alfred, that those two gentlemen made a contract out on him to be eliminated. In other words, they wanted to kill him. So he had to flee to Mexico City, where he lived for a few years and then emigrated to Canada. He now lives safely in Vancouver, Canada, and but he will be appearing at my conference. He has many things to say, and I really like him. He's a wonderful man. He was on my radio show last November, and when he was on, he said that the planet had shifted from the negative to the positive, and he has many beautiful messages for our beautiful, bright future.
All right. And that kind of covers it. There's one thing about him that a lot of people don't really know is he's actually an experiencer himself. He kind of keeps that close to his vest, but he has admitted that he has had experiences with interdimensional or non-human intelligence. Okay, what else do we need to accomplish here? You want the general information?
Oh, I wanted to. Michael, if I may share this with you, we have there is one more man coming from who's added to the speaker list. His name is Master Lin. He's
say it again. I didn't hear it.
Master Lin, Lin.
Okay.
He's well known in Asia, not well known in the West, but he's considered a little bit like Jerry Pollack, although he's not a scientist. He's a spiritual man, and his specialty is water. And this is why he's coming to the conference. He's famous throughout Asia, and he'll be giving a presentation as well. This is a recent development that happened just recently in the last couple of weeks. He will be put on the website here in the next couple of days, but he's a fascinating man, and he will be giving a presentation as well at my conference.
Okay, great. I mean, you got people from all over the world, from Japan to Sweden and back again.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next that people need to know? We're working right off of your Galactic Wisdom Conference website, which I'll put a link at the bottom and maybe a few other links. So what else do people need to know? The general information of it's going to be Friday, March 10th, Saturday, March 11th, and Sunday, March 12th, with the special presentations on Tuesday, March 14th, and Wednesday.
That's right, on the 15th. Okay. I want to tell everybody that the cost for the 3-day conference is $197, and there are links on the web page for registering. If you use PayPal, it's a little bit higher because PayPal charges a 3.5% fee. I think the fee for the 3-day weekend, if you use PayPal, is $203. But you can always send me a check too. And there's also too, one important thing I want to tell you, that the first day, Friday, March 10th, is free for people.
Oh.
So if they just want to come and meet the presenters and get a taste of the conference, they're more than welcome to come on Friday, which is a free day.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about the location. I'm gonna see if I can pull that window up. This is
there's something else too. I want to tell you about the schedule.
Okay, let's go to the schedule. Let me go to the schedule page. There's
okay. Okay. On Sunday, March 12th in the evening, there's going to be healing sessions for people.
So let me pull that up so we can see if we can see it. Okay, Sunday, March 12th.
Sunday, March 12th in the evening. There's going to be special healing sessions. We can get to that.
Yeah, it says the individual healing psychic sessions with you and Scott and Teresa, all those people. Everybody's out there going to be doing the healing. Amazing.
Right. So if you do need a healing, either a spiritual or physical healing, please come by. That will be a very important session. And you'll be able to meet everyone, of course. And we are powerful spiritual beings meant to create a beautiful, happy planet. And this is the purpose of the conference, is to raise consciousness, to empower people, to help create this beautiful planet, which I know we are creating.
Okay, so let's just talk about the location so it gets everybody's mind going to where it is.
All right.
It says here, Washington Land Yacht Harbor RV Park and Event Center. And this is like 1901 Steilacoom Road.
Steilacoom Road.
Road, Southeast Olympia, Washington. That's where it is. We'll have to Google that, I guess.
Yeah, it's easy to get to. It's just right off of I-5. If you're flying in from out of state, the easiest airport to get to is Seattle, although you can fly into Portland as well. Also, too, if you're flying in internationally, sometimes the airfares are much cheaper out of Vancouver, Canada, which is a beautiful city and also a beautiful airport. If you're coming in from either Seattle, Portland, Oregon, or Vancouver, Canada, one of the easiest ways you can get down to the conference site is by Amtrak train, which runs several trains very daily. There are also buses, direct buses, which go from the airport to the conference site. There's two buses you take. It's the 574 and the 603, or it's a 603 bus, or the 609. I can't remember, but and it costs like $5 or $6 or $7 to get from the airport using a couple of buses to get down to the center.
Oh, that's great. And
if you need more information about transportation or any logistics about accommodations, please call me at 509-750-9793. I also have a toll-free number good in the United States and Canada at 1-888-879-8339, or you can email me to outofthisworld1150@gmail.com.
And for accommodations, you've got people who can do camping, and there's also some days inns, and there's quite a few places that they can stay for reasonable.
Yes, and I want to tell people as well that some of the best accommodations you can find at a very reasonable price, less than hotels, is at what's called Airbnb. Those are private residences that people rent out. They rent out homes on lakes, apartments, different rooms and whatnot for very reasonable prices, and I've included that as well. Generally speaking, the cost for those private accommodations are sometimes 50% less than what you pay for for a hotel.
Well, what a force of nature you are putting all this. Is the third year you're doing this, and I know it's expensive because I've done workshops before, and it can cost $2,000 or $3,000, and depending on the venue, just for one day. So
that's true.
A big money making deal here, and what people are getting is amazing for the price.
Well, I have to tell you, thank you so much, Michael, for saying that. The purpose of the conference, by the way, is not so much to make money. If we make money, great. It goes to support the Emoto Peace Project and my nonprofit radio station program. But the main purpose of the program is to raise consciousness, and that's been my goal all along. And in order to make this place a better and happier planet. Michael, people are tired of the wars. They're tired of the conflict, and they know that that there's a bright future ahead of us. And because I think that the basic nature of humanity is to be kind, benevolent, caring, and loving, and not to be in disharmony and fighting all the time. And that's the underlying premise of this conference as well, to help create a better and happier world.
I think that's a good place to end it. We don't want to make it too long, but yeah, end it on the note of love. We're loving, kind, and compassionate beings, and that's the direction we're going on. And thank you so much for doing all the huge work. I know what it takes to put on one of these things. Thanks for doing all that hard work.
Thank you so much, Michael. I really appreciate your help. And our website, for more information, you go to www.galacticwisdomconference.com.
That's going to be in the link. I'll link all that together. All right. Talk to you later.